Good morning, everyone. Welcome to lecture 8 of problem solving and computer programming course. In this lecture, we are going to see the simple flow of control, that is nothing but our if statement, and we are going to see some of the loops like while loop, for loop, and we are also going to see switch case statement. These four things we are going to see in the simple flow of control. So there are two things in the C and C++ programming. One is flow of control. Flow of control is nothing but in which order you are executing a particular program. Suppose you have written a particular program, in each and every line you are writing some statement, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statements, right? So always we are reading first instruction, then second instruction, third instruction, fourth instruction, fifth instruction, and so on. But we know that execution always starts from the main function. Then inside main function, whatever instruction you have written, based upon that the program is executed, right? The instruction is followed by the instruction is given to the processor, and processor is acting based on the instructions, right? Whatever you provide, like you are assigning the variable, or first you are declaring the variable, then you are assigning a specific value to the variable, then you are displaying something in the output stream, or you are taking some input in the output stream, right? So flow of control is nothing but the order in which the statements are executed. Generally, we are going for sequential execution. Sequential means one after another. But C and C++ also provide some facility in which you can jump from one instruction to another instruction by skipping few instructions, right? For example, I will tell you after instruction number 3, you can jump to instruction number 7, right? You can skip the instruction 4, instruction 5, instruction 6, right? That is also possible, right? So here the concept of branch is coming into the picture. What branch says? Let's program choose between two alternatives. Like we are traveling, for example, we are traveling in a particular car. In a particular junction, you have two different roads, right? One road is in the left, another road is in the right. Right? This is your left part, this is your right part. So once you reach to this particular position, you can choose the left, or you can choose the right to reach your destination D, right? You have to reach to the destination D. If you follow the left route also, it is going to destination D. The right route also going to destination D. So what you are doing here, you are choosing a particular alternative. Either you have to choose left, or you have to choose the right. Right? Similarly, in the program case also, there is an instruction where you have to choose whether to go for the left side or to go to the right side, right? So here the condition, whatever you are putting, right? For example, say that if you follow the left part, then the distance is less, right? Let us consider one criteria that is called as distance, right? Distance is less. But if you choose the right case, traffic is less, right? So what you have to do? You have to decide which one is best for you. So for someone case distance is better, someone case traffic is better, right? If traffic is less, that is also better, right? So here, based upon that condition, you are going to decide whether to choose the left, which is your distance, or in the right, which is having less traffic, right? Based on that, you are going to select. Now, for which this branch, we are using a statement that is called as if, right? Note that don't call if is a loop, right? Loop means the thing which you are repeating multiple times, but if is not repeated multiple times. That's why it is called as if statement, right? Like here you can see there is a keyword if, okay, to implement the decision control instructions, right? Like I told you, in a particular junction, you are going to decide which path you are going to choose. So here you are putting some instruction. What is the instruction? You have to put the instruction within the if, right? If the condition is satisfied, then you will follow left part. If the condition is not satisfied, then you follow the right part, right? So you are taking a decision using this keyword if, right? And the general form of this if statement look like this one. So you have to write if, then you have to open the parenthesis. You have to write a condition here. What type of condition you can write? That I'll tell you, right? And you have to close the parenthesis, right? And don't put semicolon here, right? There is no semicolon required here, right? And whatever couple of instruction you want to write, you can write the statement here. But generally, it is suggested that you have to write one statement. Okay. For example, if I write if a is a variable, right? If a is greater than equal to 0, then I will say see out a, right? I want to display the value of a, right? So if this condition is only satisfied, then only I am printing this value. If this condition is not satisfied, I am not going to follow this one, right? So alternate one means if the condition is not satisfied, then we are writing else. Okay, else. Suppose I will write cout is equal to suppose I want to display the value of I want to display a message wrong input, right? For example, I want to write wrong input, right? So here you can see in this case, okay, the condition you have to check. If the condition is satisfied, then you choosing this part. If the condition is not satisfied, then you are going for this particular part, right? So in this way, you can select one of the statement, either this particular statement, that is C out A or C out wrong input. Out of these two, you have to choose one, right? Now let us come to this example. Okay, so here you can see my voice is clear. Somebody is saying my voice is not clear. My voice is clear. Can anybody respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so see this example. In this example, I have declared a variable num, right? I have declared a variable num. So how to give input? For this, you have to show a message, right? That's why I have written cout insertion operator. I am writing enter a number less than 10. So it will be displayed in your screen, computer screen. It will display enter a number, okay, less than 10, right? This message will be shown in the output in the screen, right? Then user will do? User will give an input. Whatever input you will give, that will be stored in the environment. For example, I am writing a number that is 8. So 8 will be displayed in the output screen, right? 8 you are giving as an input in the output screen, so it will be taken as num. Now I am checking the condition. If the num is less than or equal to 10, num is what? Right, we have entered 8. 8 is less than 10. Yes, it is true. 8 is less than 10 is true. Then what you are printing? You are printing what an obedient servant you are, exclamation symbol. So this will be shown in the output. For example, if you have written instead of 8, you have written 18. So what will happen? 18 is less than equal to 10. It is true? No, right? 18 is not less than equal to 10. So nothing will be shown in the output, right? That means you are checking one condition. If the condition is satisfied, then you are following this particular path. But if this condition is not satisfied, you are not doing anything, right? So I told you in the previous slide, there is a if followed by else. But here what happened? Here only if is there. If the condition is satisfied, then only we are going to do this. If the condition is not satisfied, then you have to do nothing, right? But in the usual programmer, you have to write both if and else. We will see in the upcoming programs, right? So you have to write a number less than equal to 10 in order to print this one. So this is nothing but if condition. If condition is satisfied, then you are printing something or you are executing a particular statement. Now, if you draw a flow chart, you can see here, you can start from here and you can write print enter a number less than 10. Then you accept input in num. Then you check that num is greater than equal to 10 or not, 10 or not. Okay, this should be greater than equal to, right? If num is greater than 10, right? Then so it should be less than equal to, here there is a mistake, okay, it should be less than equal to. If it is less than equal to, then what you have to print? You have to print what is obedient servant you are, right? There is a mistake here, please correct it. That is less than equal to, right? Because you have seen in this case, we are writing num is less than equal to 10, right? Okay, so if it is yes, then you are printing what an obedient servant you are, then it is stop. If num value, okay, in this case num value is greater than 10. If num value is greater than 10, then you are not doing anything, right? So this is the flow chart of if. You can see here, you are putting a condition here in which you have two sides. One is yes side and another is no side. Yes side means the condition is satisfied. No side means the condition is not satisfied. So you have to follow these things, right? But in the no side, in this case, we are not doing anything. At least we should print a message, but we have not printed anything. This is a simple if statement. Okay. Now you can see, suppose there is a question, there is a problem, says that suppose you visited so many shopping malls, so you know that also, right? While purchasing certain items, you visited a particular store, okay, or you are going to visit a particular shop because there is a sale, right? Nowadays sale is going on, right? So while purchasing certain items, a discount of 10% is offered if the quantity purchased is more than 1000. So suppose you are going to a particular shopping mall and you purchase something, right? So whenever you are purchasing, there is an offer. Offer says that if you purchase more than 1000, okay, more than 1000, then you are going to get 10% discount, right? So in the bill for billing, you have to write a particular program. So it is saying if quantity and price for item are input through the keyboard, write a program to calculate the total expenses. What is your input? You have to write the quantity and you have to write the price for item, right? Then you will calculate the total expenses, right? Suppose I have purchased 5 number of biscuits. Okay, each biscuit cost is 50 rupees. So 5 is the quantity, price per item is 50. 5 into 50 is my 250. So 250 is my total expenses. If 250 is greater than 1000, then I will avail 10% discount. It is not, right? So they are not going to provide us 10% discount. But if it is greater than 100, like that I have purchased some other item, 10 is the quantity and it is 100 rupees. Now it is coming as 1000. So total expenses is nothing but 1250. So 1250 means it is greater than 1000, greater than equal to 1000. So I am availing 10% discount. For this, you have to write a program. So this is the flow chart. First, initially, you will initialize the discount at 0 because we do not know whether a customer's bill will be exceed 1000 or it is not exceeding 1000. Then you are giving input as quantity as well as rate, right? Quantity as well as rate. Then you are checking if the calculation quantity and rate it is greater than 1000. Okay, this is not quantity. If the total expenses is greater than 1000, then discount is your 10%. But if it is not greater than 1000, okay, or greater than equal to 10,000, in that case, then you will not do anything, right? Only if it is greater than equal to 1000, then only you will do it. How you are going to calculate the total expenses? In this case, the total expenses you will calculate that is quantity into rate minus quantity into rate into discount divided by 100. For example, let's say your total billing is 1250, right? So 1250 is what? Quantity into rate is equal to 1250, right? As it is greater than 1000, you are going to get 10% discount. So quantity into rate is 1250 minus this is 1250, quantity into rate is again 1250. 1250 into discount is how much? Discount is 10, okay, divided by 100. So if you calculate, you are going to get 1250, okay, minus 125 rupees, right? So whatever value is coming, it is nothing but your total expenses. So this is the flow chart. So there is some mistakes here in the last flow chart. Also there is a mistake in the book. Please correct it, right? Okay, accordingly you can calculate. So our objective is to write a program. Okay. So before you can go through that particular program, right? But prior to that, I will tell you what are the different types of condition you can write inside the if, right? I told you, if within parenthesis you are writing condition. You can write a condition like this: if 3 plus 2 modulus 5, okay, is the condition. If this condition is satisfied, then what will happen? Then you will print this works, right? So here you can see in the last class I told you, whenever we are writing 3 plus 2, 3 is a operand, 2 is another operand, plus is an operator, right? Similarly, modulus is what? Is a operator, 2 is a operand, and 5 is a operand. So there is a precedence among the operands. Precedence means one is higher priority, one is lower priority. So if you compare this plus and modulus, okay, modulus is having higher priority. Higher priority means first writing like this is same as writing like this, right? So you know that there is a rule, right? Which one will be, which operator will be evaluated, right? So if you see that writing 3 plus 2 modulus 5 is nothing but 3 plus 2 modulus 5. So 2 modulus 5 is nothing but here 2, right? So 3 plus 2 is nothing but 5. So this expression is same as writing if within bracket 5. So note that if this particular value is non-zero, except 0, then the condition is always true, right? Very important question. You may also get one question in your placement, right? If this value is non-zero, non-zero means minus 5, minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, except 0, then it is true. But if you write if 0, then it is false. So this is your false, and this first part is your true. So as it is the simplification of this particular expression is 5, then it is true because it is a non-zero value. So output you are going to get this word. Okay. So now if you put a bracket like this, if the condition you are writing like this, so what will happen? 3 plus 2, you have put bracket, bracket means bracket is higher precedence. So it is 5 modulus 5. 5 by modulus 5 is your 0. As it is 0, you are going to execute the else part. But there is no else part here, so it will not print anything. Similarly, you can see in another if statement, I have written if A is equal to 10. What we are doing? I told you already that you are writing, suppose int A, this is your variable declaration. A is equal to 10, you are initializing that variable. Okay, you are initializing the variable to 10. So it is same as the variable assignment. 10 is assigned to A. So whenever you are assigning a value to A, finally the value is true. This assignment is true. So this statement will be executed. That is, even this works will be executed. Third case, here you can see I have written if negative 5. Negative 5 is a non-zero value, right? As it is a non-zero value, if part is going to execute, so it is going to print. Surprisingly, even this works. So you can change these values to practice, right? what is the output is coming, whether if part is executed or if else part is there, then else part is executed. If else part is not there, then blank output is coming up not, right? You change it, right? You will definitely get one question in the placement, right? And note that if the value is non-zero, then only if part will be executed. If the value is zero, then else part is going to be executed. So sometimes what happen, you require multiple statement within if. Okay. So it may so happen that in a program we want more than one statement. Okay. Why more than one statement is required? For example, in our system we have A grade, A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, let's say E grade, let's say there is a P grade, then there is a 12 grade, right? Something grade system is there, right? So if I'll check a student's mark, whether it is S or not, whether A or not, B not, C not, okay, or D or not, E or not, like that. So you require more than one statement to be executed if the expression following if is satisfied, right? First I am going to check this one, then I will go on checking other grades as well. If such multiple statements are to be executed, then they must be placed in a pair of brushes as illustrated in the following example. How? Let us see. For example, the first there is a problem where we require multiple statements. It says that the current year and the year in which the employee joined the organization are entered to the keyword. For example, you joined a particular company, okay, let's say in 2018, right? 2018, right? Let's say current year is 2020, right? So these two things you have to give input, right? Next, if this first you have to ask, like, what is your year of joining and what is the current year, right? Or you have to read the current year from the system, right? So that will be a complex one, but better to enter through keyword, right? You can also read the system time. I'll tell you later. Okay. So if the number of years for which the employee has served the organization is greater than 3. So you have to find the difference between these two here. In this case, the difference is 2 years. For example, one person has written 2020 and its joining is 2010. So what is the difference? The difference of the year is 10 years. Okay. So if the number of years for which the employee has served the organization is greater than 3, then the bonus 2500 is given to that employee. Right? So if the difference is greater than 3, then you are going to give a discount of 2500. Otherwise, you did not do anything. Right? Here it is written, if the year of service are not greater than 3, then the program should do nothing. Right? So see how it is they are doing. So what we are asking in the flowchart, you can see one we are asking current year, another we are asking year of joining, right? And year of service is nothing but current year minus year of joining. Like we are calculating 2020 minus 2010. So it will come as 10, right? Then we are checking if 10 is greater than 3. Yes, 10 is greater than 3. What is the bonus? The bonus is going to get 2500. We have to print the bonus and we have to add. But if in the first case, that is 2020 the current year and year of joining is 2000, let's say 18. So what is the value we are going to get? We are going to get 2. If you are going to get 2, this condition is not satisfied. As this condition is not satisfied, you have to go to no and you have to stop. You have to print nothing, right? So based upon that, sometimes we require multiple statements, right? Multiple times within if it is required. So similarly, you can see a very popular program like you already done in this case, right? Any integer is input through the keyboard, right? A input, you have to give a integer as input. So write a program to find out whether it is odd number or even number, right? Sometimes multiple statements you have to keep inside if, right? Like here you can see I am I am writing bonus is equal to 2500 and print bonus, right? So in this case, what happened? You will put if followed by the condition. If the condition is satisfied, you are executing this couple of statements. If multiple statements are there, then you have to put in curly bracket. right? Then you write if else is there. In else also you have multiple statement, you put the curly bracket. Okay, but if a single statement is there, no need to put the curly bracket. You can write if this one, else this one. But if multiple statements are there, like here we are saying bonus is equal to 2500 and we are printing the bonus, in that case it is required. Okay. Similarly, odd even program you did in the programming, so you know how you are doing odd even number, right? And very important program I am telling you. Okay, that is any year is input through the keyword. Write a program to determine whether the year is a leap year or not. Right? You know that every 4 year, 1 year is treated as a leap year. Right? So in this case, we are going to use the modulus operator. But there are some constraints are there. Please keep in your mind what is the constraints, right? That I have written here in 4 different points. So if a particular year, once you are giving as input, you have to check this 4 conditions. First condition, if the year is divisible by 4, for example, let us go to 2000. 2000 is divisible by 4 or not? Yes, it is divisible by 4. 2000 is divisible by 100 or not? Yes, it is divisible by 100. 2000 is divisible by 400 or not? Yes, it is divisible. Then yes, it is treated as a leap year, right? But if a year is divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100, then also it is a leap year, right? Two conditions are there, right? Means it's not divisible by 100. If it is if you divisible, you can divide by 4, but you cannot divide by 100 also. That also you can treat it as a leap year. Similarly, two other conditions where it is not a leap year, that if a year is not divisible by 4, then it is not a leap year. If something is not divisible by 4, it is not a leap year. Similarly, if a year is divisible by 4 and 100 but not divisible by 400, then it is not a leap year, right? So you have to keep these things in your mind, right? Because you know that I'll tell you the facts why every 4 year the leap year is not coming, right? Maximum cases it is coming, but if you go for 2100, 2100 is not a leap year, right? So you have to carefully check the division by 4, division by 100, division by 4, 400, and you have to check which one case it is leap year, which one case it is not a leap year. So leap year or any year that can be exactly divisible by 4, like 2016, 2020, 2024, these all are leap year. Leap year means what? Instead of February 28, you have February 29. Okay. So except if it can be exactly divisible by 100, then it is not. For example, 2100 is exactly divided by 400, right? So it is not a leap year. Or you can say if you divide by 400, it is not divisible. So they are not leap year. Like 2100, 2200, they are not leap year. But except if it can be exactly divided by 400, then it is. Like 2000, 2400, they are divisible by 400, so they are called as leap year. So the reason behind that, you know, right? Just I have noted here that because the Earth rotates about 365.242375 times a year. So 365 is the complete day, but 0.242375 is remaining in each and every year, right? So we have normally 365 days and we have extra 0.242375 days a year, right? This is remaining in each and every year. So if you go for the 4th year, we are adding an extra day. Like here, if you see it is 0.24. 0.24 into 4 is nothing but your 0.96, right? 0.96, it is almost equal to 1, right? That's why we are saying yes, it is nothing but 1 day we have to add in each and every 4th year. But this is fairly close. Okay, this is obviously close because 365.24 we are taking 365.25. But it is wrong when you say 1 day in every 100 year. Every 100 year the remaining part is there. So we are skipping one 100 year, right? Like 2100 is not a leap year. So every 100 year we do not have a leap year. That gives us 365.24 days per year. That is 1 day less in 100 year. Okay, closer, but still it is not accurate because it is a fractional number is there, but there is a rough calculation. But if you go for exact calculation also, it is very difficult. But you have to keep in mind that 1 day you have to skip in every 100 years. So we are putting another rule that every 400 year is a leap year again. Like 2000 is a leap year, 2400 is a leap year, but 2100, 2200, 2300 is not a leap year, right? So this is the thing what we are saying, but it is close enough. This is close enough, but not exactly one. Okay, like this is a decimal point, so you cannot say it is completely 366, right? So similarly, another example you can see here, to calculate the hourly wages, there are two rules. Okay, in a company, for workers, you are calculating how much you are going to pay to that workers, right? So you have two things. One is regular working hour, so they have to work 40 hours per week. That is compulsory. But if there is something above the 40 hours happen, that is treated as overtime. Right? In every company, they are paying overtime charge. Suppose the productivity need to be increased due to market demand. So people are working beyond the regular time. That is called as overtime. So suppose if it is a regular time, suppose a person is working for only regular time, his gross pay is equal to rate into hour. Rate is, for example, how much you are giving per hour into number of hour is 40, then his gross pay you will calculate accordingly, right? By multiplying rate into hour. But if it is overtime, overtime means suppose the normal charge is 1, then overtime charge is 1.5. Okay, 1.5 times you have to give. So you are calculating rate into 40 for first 40 hours and rest hour you are subtracting 40. For example, one person is work for 50 hours. So 50 minus 40, that is 10 hour extra, right? So that 10 hours into rate into 1.5, you have to add with your regular time, you have to calculate the gross pay, right? So the program must choose which of these expression to use. Whether you have to go for the regular time in which you are calculating gross pay is equal to rate into hour, or you are going for overtime in which you are calculating gross pay is equal to rate into 40 plus 1.5 into rate into hours minus 40. So you have to choose which expression is valid in case of a particular worker, right? Okay, decide if hours is greater than 40. So how we are going to decide? As I already mentioned, regular time is up to 40 hours. Okay, but overtime is over 40 hours. So you are putting a if statement here. If hours is greater than 40 is true, then you are going to calculate this expression. If it is not true, then you are going for second expression. Or you can reverse it. You can write hours is less than equal to 40. Instead of going this, you can write if hours is less than equal to 40, then go for this one. Okay, else go for this one. It is also possible, right? So I'll tell you in program. So it is introducing your if else statement. Just I told you, you reach to a particular junction, you have two roads. One is left side and another is right side. Out of these two, you have to choose one, right? So here there is two branch, right? Instead of a single branch, you have two branch. Here you are calculating if hours is greater than 40, then gross pay is calculated using this particular formula. If hours is not greater than 40, you have to calculate using this particular formula, right? So this is the complete program. What I did, I have declared int hours. Okay, hours is always an integer because you have taken here as the integer, right? And you are calculating the gross pay, and you have to also tell how much is the rate per hour. Okay, rate per hour may be 10.5 or $20.5. Okay, that's why we have declared as double. Then we are asking enter the hourly rate of pay. Hourly, how much you are going to pay to your worker. Let's say it is decided as 10. Right? 10 means what? 10.0. Right? Because it is a double number. Enter the number of hours work Okay, rounded to a whole number of hours. If it is 40.5, then you have to round it to 41. That's why you have taken it as a integer, right? So, for example, one person has entered 45, right? What I am going to check is 45 is greater than 40. The gross pay is calculated based upon this one. How we are going to calculate? So, it is nothing but 10, right? $10, right? This is $10.0, right? So 10 into 40, right? Okay, for the first 40 plus 1.5 into what is the rate? The rate is 10, okay, into your hours minus 40. Hours is 45 minus 40. So it is 5. So you are going to get the gross pay. But if the number of hours, let's say number of hours is 35. So what we are going to do, you have to execute the else because your condition will not be satisfied. As 35 is not greater than 40. So what we are doing, rate is nothing but 10 and hours is nothing but 35. So what we are going to do, if you calculate this one, you are going to get 350. Right? But I told you in the last class also, in order to fix number of digits you want to show in the output stream, you can take the help of these three things, right? In which you have to specify how many values you are going to see after the decimal point, right? Like here I mentioned two values after the decimal point. So hours is equal to, in the output you are going to print hours is equal to hours. How many hours? Whatever you have given input, 45 or 35 hours for pay rate equal to dollar rate. Rate is nothing but 10.0 and gross pay you have calculated here. That value you are going to print and you have to using return 0. So you can see the output is this one. Somebody said 20 and number of hours is 30. So 30 into 20 you are going to get 600. Okay, somebody entered 41 and hourly rate is 10. So 40 into 10 is 400 and for this 1 hour you have to pay 1.5 times extra. So you are going to get the output is 450. So you put the values in this formula, right? You are going to get 450, right? Now you can see here, sometimes we are writing, if you see this one, here what we are doing, if we are checking a particular condition, if it is satisfied, then we are evaluating this particular expression. If not satisfied, then we are going for this expression. It is same as this one. If Boolean expression, if it is yes, then we are executing one statement or you are executing another statement. But sometimes what happens, we want to execute more than one instruction in the if part or more than instruction in the else part. In that case, what you have to do, you have to write multiple statements within the curly bracket. You can see multiple statements are written in the curly bracket. Similarly, in the else part, we are executing multiple instructions in the else part. That also you can do, right? So note that if you are executing more than instruction, multiple instructions in the if and else part, this curly bracket is compulsory. Compulsory, okay? Otherwise, you will not get your output as expected. Now come to the Boolean expression. I told you already, Boolean means it is nothing but binary, right? Either the answer is yes or the answer is no, right? So Boolean expression are the expression that are either true or false or 0 or 1, right? So the comparison operator such as greater than is used to compare variables and numbers. For example, we are checking hours is greater than 40 or not, right? The answer you are going to get true or false. Whether x is equal to 5 or not, your answer is either yes or no. Okay? There is no other answer, right? You have to say your answer in yes or no. You cannot say that sometimes it is yes, sometimes it is no. That is not allowed. Every expression you have to read and say that yes or no, right? Similarly, if you see here, we are checking hours is greater than 40, including the parenthesis with the Boolean expression from the wages example. So our decision is if yes, it is greater than 40 or it is not greater than 40, right? Some few other symbols also you can use here, like you are using greater than equal to. Okay, you can also check hours is greater than equal to 40, which will include 40. Okay, or you can check, suppose I will check x is not equal to 0, then I am executing something. If x is equal to 0, then I am executing another thing in the else part, right? So in the if part, the condition you can write if something is not equal to 0, that is also possible. Or sometimes we are checking if x is equal to 0, if the x value is 0 or not. Try to understand two things. If you are writing x is equal to 0, this is a assignment thing. You are assigning 0 to x. But if you are writing x is equal to 0 inside the if, it is comparing the value of x with the value of 0. Right? It is comparing. If both are same, then only it is going to execute the if part, otherwise it is going to go for else part. Okay, so these are the couple of instructions, like you can see there is equal to, there is a not equal to. Okay, one is equal to, another is not equal to, you can see equal to, not equal to, less than equal to, greater than equal to. Many people what they are doing while writing the program, they are writing the symbol like this. Don't write the symbol like this, because in your keyboard there is nothing, there is no symbol like this, or there is no symbol like this. There is no symbol like this. So while you are writing the program, you have to write less than equal to or greater than equal to. If you write it like this, then you will not get full mark, right? So you know that suppose you want to write x plus 7 equal to 2y. You have to compare whether x plus 7 is equal to 2y or not. Then you have to use x plus 7 equal to 2 into y. And into symbol is also not there. Cross symbol is not there. So you have to use your asterisk symbol, right? While you are writing the program, we are writing asterisk symbol, not a cross symbol, right? Similarly, if you want to check answer is not equal to n, then you have to check n answer not equal to nothing but exclamation mark equal to. Similarly, other things you can check from this particular slide, right? Don't write this symbol. I'm again repeating. Such type of symbols you should not write in the program. That is not allowed. Okay, multiplication symbol is also not allowed. Don't write 2 into y. There is no into symbol, right? You have to write s, right? You have to use less than equal to. You have to write greater than equal to. In this manner, you can write the equivalent statement in C++ program. Now, when the Boolean expression is true, you are going to execute the true statement. When the Boolean expression is false, you are going to execute the false statement. Okay, so this is the complete expression which you are seeing from the couple of slides. We are putting a condition in the Boolean expression, then you are deciding whether it is true or false. Okay, if multiple statements are there, true statements are there, they should be enclosed with your curly bracket. That's why it's saying when the Boolean expression is true, only the true statements enclosed in this curly bracket are executed. So you have more than one instruction here. Similarly, in else part, you have more than false statements here. Okay, if the Boolean expression is not satisfied, then you are going to execute a couple of instructions. So you have to be careful when you are writing multiple statements in the if part or in the else part. Okay, let us see an example. In a company, an employee is paid as under, right? First condition is that if his basic salary is less than Rs 1500, then HRA is 10% of the basic salary. So first you have to give input the basic salary. Once you are giving input the basic salary, you will check that basic salary is less than 1500 or not. If it is 1500, then what you are doing? The first statement you are going to do that HRA is 10%. Okay, 10% of what? Whatever the basic salary is there, and DA is 90%. DA is nothing but daily allowances, right? HRA is nothing but house rent allowances. It is generally given to the central government and state government employee, right? So accordingly, you are going to calculate. But if his salary is either equal or above 1500, then HRA is 500 and DA is 98% of the basic salary. Right? There is two things. You have to give input basic salary and check that whether it is less than 1500 or greater than 1500. Less than 1500 means two instruction you have to execute. HRA is 10% of the basic salary, DA is 90% of the basic salary. If it is greater than or equal to 1500, HRA is 500 rupees, but DA is 98% of the basic salary. Okay. If the employee salary is input through the keyboard, write a program to find his gross salary. How we are going to do? See here, we are entering the base salary, basic pay, right? If the basic pay is less than 1500, then you are going to execute this setup statement. That is, HRA is nothing but 10% of the basic, right? That's a basic salary into 10 divided by 100, and DA is 90% of the basic salary. Basic salary into 90 by 100. But if it is greater than or equal to 1500, then HRA is fixed as 500 and DA is nothing but 98% of the basic salary. Basic salary into 98 by 100. 98% means what? 98 by 100. 10% means what? 10 by 100. 90% means 90 by 100. Then once you calculate this HRA and DA, what you have to calculate? You have to calculate the gross salary. Gross salary is nothing but basic salary plus HRA plus DA. So these three things you will add in order to calculate the gross salary. So finally, we have to print the gross salary and we have to execute. We have to stop the execution. So a few points it is very important here. You have to keep in your mind. The group of statements after the if up to not including else. You are writing if, right? And curly bracket start. You are writing couple of instruction. Curly bracket I am ending. Then I am starting else. So it is saying a group of statement after if up to and not including the else is called as your if block. This is called as your if block, right? Similarly, the statement after the else, whatever you are writing within the curly bracket, they are called as your else block, right? Notice that the else is written exactly below the if. You have to write once if block is over, then you are going to write else, right? So had there been only one statement to be executed in the if block, but if you want to execute only one instruction in the if block and one instruction in the else block, then the pair of braces is optional. You can put a pair of braces, that is a good practice, but if you are dropping the braces also, there is no issue, right? As with the if statement, the default scope of else is also the statement immediately after the else. To override this default scope, a pair of braces as shown in the above example must be used, right? So multiple instruction case, you are putting the curly bracket. If you are executing one instruction, then no need of the curly bracket. So it is perfectly all right if you can write the entire if else construct within either the body of the if statement or body of the else statement. Sometimes what happen? For example, if I'll say if x value is greater than 0, then you come inside, right? In the if block, right? Then I am checking if x value is greater than 10, then I am executing this statement. Otherwise, I am executing this statement. So what you have seen here, you are writing a if statement, okay? If statement inside another if statement. Here there is a if statement, here there is a if statement. The second if statement is inside another if statement. Or you can say the second if statement is present inside the first if statement, which you can call it, this is, you can say outer if, and this one you can call it the inner if, right? So if a if statement is there inside another if statement, that is called as our nested if. Okay, you can see here it is written as nested if. Similarly, in the else part, this else is belongs to your first if, that is your outer if. Inside that also you can write another if statement, right? You can write if x value is less than -10, then you are going to execute this one. Otherwise, you are going to execute another one, right? So such type of statement, if you are writing if within a if, then that is called your nested if, right? We will see some couple of examples so that the idea is more clear. Before that, there is some condition, some other things I need to cover. So Boolean expression can be combined into more complex expression using AND operator, or you can go for OR operator. Like you can see here, we are writing comparison 1, okay, comparison 1 and comparison 2. So if both conditions are true, then only it is true. You know that AND gate says both input is true, then only the output is true. So here you can see we are checking two conditions. One is 2 less than x, another is x less than 7. For example, x you have given input as 5. So it will evaluate 2 less than 5. It is true, right? And if you check here 5 less than 7, it is also true. If both are true, then only you are entering the if block. If it is not, for example, the value I am entered is 15, then 2 is not less than 15 and 15 is also not less than 7. So both cases it is false. So you will execute the else block, not the if block, right? That is the purpose of AND. Similarly, there is a OR operator, right? OR operator case, what we are doing? We are using these two vertical bar, right? In the previous case, you are writing two ampersand, two address of symbol or two ampersand, right? But in this case, you are writing two vertical bar. So what is the condition here? Here the first condition is if x value is equal to 1, then it is allowed. Or if x value is equal to y, then also it is allowed. Okay. Or if both condition is also satisfied, that is also allowed, right? For example, x value is 1, I have written here. Okay, let's say y value is also 1. So first case you are checking x is equal to 1. So it is true. So you are allowed. Second condition, if you check x is equal to y, yes, x is equal to, that is also true. So if both are true, then also it will execute. If one of them is also true, then also it is allowed in the OR. Right? True if x contains 1, true if x contains the same value of y, true if both cases it is also true. In all the cases you can execute, right? So condition is, if condition is nothing but is not limited to a single expression. It may go for multiple expression using this AND operator or OR operator. Similarly, you can use the negation operator. Here what you are checking, if you are checking x less than y, but you are putting a negation operator, not operator before that. But it indicates x is not less than y. Okay, instead of saying x less than y, you are putting a not operator that indicates x is not less than y. Similarly, in this case, x is equal to y, that is x is equal to y, but you are putting not, indicates x is not equal to y. So such expressions also you can put in the case of not, right? Now, be careful for transmitting the inequalities, right? For example, if somebody will tell you x less than y less than z, okay, you can also write if, okay, x less than y less than y less z. Suppose you want to write a statement in the condition of if. So what you will write? You will write if x less than y, okay, which indicates the first part, and y less than z. So instead of writing x less than y less than z, what we have to write? You have to write x less than y and then y less than z. So don't write if x less than y less than z. That is not a correct way. So if you want to put multiple condition, you have to put x less than y is one condition. Another condition is your y less than z. Similarly, multiple statements you can write, right? You can see x less than y is your one condition, y less than z is your condition, two conditions. And you are combining two conditions using a AND operator. If it is required OR operator, then also you can use, right, in between two different conditions. Similarly, there is a difference. Already I mentioned there is a difference between equal to symbol and double equal to. This is comparing. You are comparing whether x value is equal to 3 or not. If x value is equal to 3, then it is true. But here you are not comparing. Here what you are doing? 3 is assigned to x, right? So this is the difference between an equal to operator and double equal to operator, right? Okay, so again I want to say here, if the condition is true, right? Condition is true means your value should be a non-zero value. Okay, but if the value is 0, then it is false. False means else part will be executed, but if part will not be executed. Now this exercise you have to do. The exercise says that the marks obtained by a student in 5 subjects. For example, in the first semester you have 5 different subjects. Let the subjects are, let me write the subjects are x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. Right? There are 5 subjects are there in the first semester. Okay. So you have to give input the 5 subjects mark of a particular student through keyboard. Then you have to calculate the students division. Okay, before that what you need to calculate? You have to calculate the percentage. After calculating the percentage, if you check percentage is above or equal to 60%, 60, then you are saying it is first division. If it is in between 50 to 59, second division. 40 to 49, third division, less than 40 is third. So for this, you have to write one program. So that is one assignment, right? Okay, so here you can see this is a straightforward program. Observe that the program uses nested if else. Right? If you see in this case, it is using the nested if else. If nested if else means if inside another if is called your nested if. This leads to three disadvantages. What is the disadvantage? First one is as the number of conditions go on increasing, the level of indentation also go on increasing. For example, you can see I am writing if, right? If condition, then I am writing a block like this, right? Let me, the block is closed here. Then I am writing a if here, okay? Inside the if block. It is starting from here, it is closing here. I am starting another if here, and it is starting here, it is closing here. So what you are saying? The indentation also go on increasing. As a result, whole program creeps to the right. Right? The program is moving towards the right. That is the disadvantage. Second one is care needs to be exercised to match the corresponding if and else. So you have to be careful because this if may contain else, this if may contain else, and the first if also contain the else. So you have to correctly identify which else belongs to which if. That is also the disadvantage. And care need to be exercised to match the corresponding pair of braces, right? You have to know that this braces is ending this curly bracket. Okay, this is the closing curly bracket of this curly bracket. This is the closing curly bracket of this open curly bracket. So you have to match these three things. You have to be careful whenever you are going for nested if else. Now a company insures its drivers in the following cases, right? So there is another program. He is saying if the driver is married, okay, or if the driver is unmarried, male, and above 30 years of age. This is another condition. Another is unmarried, female, above 25 years of age. There are three conditions. Based upon that, you want to do some, you want to give some facility, or you have to decide something. So you have to put the multiple conditions, right? Now, if you see here, the question here says that write a program to calculate the salary as per the following table. So there is two. Gender-wise, there is a male or female. Year of service is greater than 10 or less than 10, right? And qualification case, you have to specify is a postgraduate or a graduate. Based upon that, the salary will be decided. So in this case also, you need if-else statement. So first, you have to check whether he is male, female or not. Second case, you have to check that if male, you have to check that whether he is greater than equal to 10 or less than 10, right? If it is greater than 10, again you have to check whether it is a postgraduate and graduate. Accordingly, you are going to calculate the salary. So please try these programs, not only in the lab class. Lab class other programs will be given, but as usual, you are practicing the home so that you will be habituated. If you are facing any difficulty, so please let me know, or you can ask in the lab classes. So there is another alternative that is called as a conditional operator, right? Conditional operators are represented in the form of question mark. You can see here, there is two things. One is your question mark, another is a colon, right? It is also called as your ternary operator. Okay, and this ternary operator is having three arguments. And the syntax of this statement is nothing but expression 1, okay, then there is a question mark, expression 2, then there is a colon, then expression 3, right? Which indicates this is your if statement. Okay, this if this if statement is satisfied, then you are going for this if block, otherwise you are going for this else block, right? So I will going to give an example so the idea is more clear. So you see here, if expression 1 is true, true means what? It is non-zero. In the if statement case, I told you, if it is 0, then it is false. If it is non-zero, negative number or positive number, it is true, right? Then it will return the expression 2. If it is non-zero, then you are going to execute expression 2. If it is 0, you are going to execute expression number 3, right? So this is an example. I have declared int x comma y. I am asking the input of x. So you are giving input x is equal to, let's say, 7. Okay, here you have given 7. What I will check? My condition is 7 greater than 5. If 7 greater than 5 is true, I will return you 3. Okay. But if assume that you have given input as 3. So 3 greater than 5, no, it is false. So I will return you the 4. So if this condition is satisfied, then you have to go for 3. If this condition is not satisfied, you are going for 4. Right? So this is called as your ternary operator. So this statement will store 3 in y. Okay. Yes, you have written here that is equal to y. So this 3 value is given to y if this condition is true. Okay. And if this condition is false, then you are going to assign 4 to y. Right? This is written here. So it is not necessary that the conditional operator should be used only for the arithmetical statement. You can go for any statement. For example, you can see here, once you are entering the value of I, we are checking whether the I value is equal to 1 or not. If I is equal to 1, if it is true, then you are printing Cout is equal to Amit, right? But if I is equal to 1 is false, then what you are printing? Cout is equal to all and sundry, right? You are printing. Not necessary, like in the previous case, you are writing arithmetic expression. Such expression you will write in the ternary operator, but you can use anything in the condition. You can use in the ternary operator. Like here we have used the Cout statement inside the conditional operator. Now come to the compound statement. A compound statement is nothing but more than one statement enclosed in curly bracket. So you can, I already told you, if Boolean expression is true, if you want to execute multiple statement, you keep in the if block within the curly bracket, or in the else part you put the multiple conditions, right? So here there is an example. You can see, if my score is greater than your score, right? Then what you will write? Cout is equal to I win and wager is equal to wager plus 100. So two instructions we are executing in the if block. And if this condition is not satisfied, then you are writing I wish these were goal scores and wager equal to 0. So in that case, you are using multiple brackets. So these things also you can represent in the form of ternary operator. Ternary operator case also multiple instructions you can write using multiple ternary operator. For example, I am writing one condition, then there is a question mark, okay, another thing, okay, then another thing, right? You are writing, for example, you are going for nested if. In this case, you are going another if here, okay. So what you will write? You will start another ternary operator in between this. That is also possible, right? Like multiple if else you are saying, here also you are going for multiple if else in the if part and else part. That is also possible, right? Okay. Now these are the conclusion here. You have to write an if else statement that outputs, okay, the word is high. It will print the output as high if the value of the variable is greater than 100, and low if the value is at the most 100. Okay, and the variable are of type integer. So you can write a if else statement. Second program is write an if else statement that outputs the word warning, provided that either the value of variable temperature is greater than equal to 100, or the variable pressure is greater than or equal to 200. These two conditions. So you have to write the first condition. Second is or. It is giving or. You can see here that is written is or. First one is temperature is greater than 100. Second case is variable pressure is greater than or equal to 200. Or both, it will going to give a warning to you. Otherwise, if a statement outputs the word okay. Okay. And here also the variables are of integer type. Right. So these are the couple of assignments we are going to complete.